time. Accountants and CPAs pretend to know tax law. They don't know none of that. They don't teach them anything about the Internal Revenue Code. This is the Bible of the IRS in accounting schools. None. Attorneys are taught some, and they are just too expensive. Most of you cannot afford attorneys. That, and not to mention, many of them are thieves and crooks and incompetent. So take advantage of the free information on our website. I can help your friend, your boss, Ian, but guess what? I'm not a magician. Without seeing his paperwork and talking to him to see what has happened in the history of his case, how it came up, I cannot give him a straight answer exactly what to do, but I can definitely help him. Okay, and I can probably stop that rape from continuing. Yeah. I can put a stop to it sooner or later. I don't know how soon. Depends on what he has done right or wrong and what the IRS has done right or wrong. So refer him to us. Send it for a private one-on-one consultation, which I'm sure he can afford as a business owner, and I'll be happy to help him out.
All right, awesome. Thank you. I'll send him your way, and hopefully we can free him from the slave state that he's stuck in, but not even signing up for. So, yeah,
if he's open-minded for help, if he wants help, we're here to help him out. So thank you for calling in. I appreciate you. You're welcome, my friend. 701 area code caller, you are next. Give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please. Are you there from area code 701? 701 caller, one more time. Announce yourself, please.
You have Travis here.
And how did you hear about us,
Am I coming through?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, yeah. So, actually, a friend of mine told me about your organization several years ago, and he gave me some information on it. I didn't really do much with it, and then I stumbled across you here online. I guess came through on a YouTube feed because some of the people that I tend to go and listen to, you've been interviewed on. So that's two ways I saw you.
Very good, my friend. And how may I help you, Travis?
Well, I don't want to hog everybody's time. I got one short question and two that might be a little bit more involved. But the first question is, should I expect to see an IRS agent knocking on my door tomorrow?
No. Are you kidding me? These guys are so incompetent. They're just a bunch of clerks just processing tax returns and trying to answer some phone calls. This myth of the IRS knocking your doors down with guns is just the propaganda by the corrupt mainstream media to keep you as a slave. They don't have time, enough people. There's 340 million people in America. There's over 200 million workers. There's tens of, millions of entities out there. And these huge corporations like Google and Facebook, their tax returns are 1,000 pages just for the tax return. To audit them, it takes a tremendous amount of work. There's just way too many people out there. You're fine. What other question you got, Travis?
I told my wife in that regard that they need us working to pay taxes, so that's the last place I want to send us is to jail. But my next question is regarding the Form 4868, the application for extension. By filing that, does that give you any sort of commitment level like signing a 1040? I'm assuming not, but I'm wondering what you say about that.
No, as I said before, no, it doesn't, because you don't even sign it. Practically, your neighbor or your friend can send one and forward you to the IRS because nobody signs it.
And my next question is, seeing we've been duped, many of us, for years and years by paying taxes when we didn't have to, and the government has essentially lied by not telling us the truth. Has anybody ever been able to recover taxes paid from years past?
Yes, people have done that in the past. People like Urban Schiff, Lynn Meredith, done that in the past, Pete Hendrickson. They've done a zero return type of returns, and sometimes they get the money back, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't get the money back, and the IRS fines them $5,000 per time that they try to get the money back from the IRS. So it's too risky, too hassle. I don't want to be responsible for misleading you to possibly be one of those that does not get your money. Instead, the IRS comes and harasses you, and you make yourself a target. Why do that? Let's not be greedy. Let's work from here forward. How old are you, Travis?
I'm old. I'm 50. I can't remember how old I am, 53 or 4.
What? You are young. I'm 62, Travis. Come on, brother. You're fine. Okay? Focus from here forward. Okay? Tell other people about us. We'll pay you for people to join and become a member. Okay, brother?
I'll be getting in touch with you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling, Travis. All right, let's go to 925 area code caller. Give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question.
Yeah, Pamela, this is Jimmy. I'm calling from California, and I think from Stu Peters' show.
Very good. And how may I help you?
Yeah, I had a question. I was looking at video, and it looks like the basis for this, which I think is a great idea. It looks like the legal basis is the interpretation of that, what is it, Title 26. And my question is, I noticed that there's a difference in one of them where it says, includes only, I think it's where they're defining the United States, includes only the 50 states and District of Columbia, and then certain territories. And then the next paragraph down, you point out, it says states includes District of Columbia.
Right.
So my question is, has anybody challenged you on that, or what's your answer to the challenge that someone says, well, it doesn't say includes only District of Columbia, it just says includes, which would indicate there's already a group to which District of Columbia is being added?
The answer, Jimmy, is in the U.S. Supreme Court's interpretations of definitions and tax laws. In these cases I mentioned, Stenberg versus Carhart, the court says very clearly a law, when they have a definition, you got to go by that definition, even if it varies from that term's ordinary meaning. And it's only what's there. If it's not there, it's not there. It's got to be clearly stated. Okay? And that rule is even double firm in tax law, because taxation is theft. Minimize legal theft to make sure the government keeps us from becoming a bunch of marauding mafioso who enslave us by force, fighting amongst each other. Okay, that's why the government is there. So the Supreme Court is the one that says that that's what's there is only there. And if you go to my website, the 7 steps, I've give you many other ways of proving this. There's a video called Many Definitions of the United States. Okay, I'll show you in that video, for example, that the term United States means so many different ways been defined in many different federal laws. Okay, tax laws and other laws, that you have to go by what each of those definitions mean. Sometimes they include 50 states, sometimes some territories, sometimes not some territories. Sometimes they use places like Kingman Reef, which I never heard about, or Northern Mariana Islands, which I used to never hear about that either. Wait a minute, which one of these definitions you got to go by? You got to go by the one that the lawmaker chooses to put in there and no more. Very simple. Okay?
And I agree with you on that with the case law. What says that if they're going to be specific, then they're constricted to their definition. I get that. My concern is the difference between one of those includes the word only, where it talks, I think it's talking about the United States, includes only, and I have it in front of me right now, but it's only the states and such, and then the next paragraph down, where it defines states, it says simply includes. It doesn't say includes only.
It doesn't have to.
So
it doesn't. Again, the U.S. Supreme Court says it doesn't have to. Again, look, you got to take a close look at these Supreme Court statements. This is not my theory. This is what the U.S. Supreme Court says. Do you think we should go by what the Supreme Court said, like Gould versus Gould? Okay?
Okay.
In their interpretation or understanding of statutes, laws, levying taxes, it is established rule not to extend the provisions by implication. There is no implying, no assuming, beyond the clear import of the language used. Okay? 9-0, unanimous Supreme Court case.
Right.
All right?
Okay.
Anything else?
My concern is that they would, no, that's it. Just that the court would look at that and say, well, it is there. It is in the language. It says simply includes, which means adding to the definition of states.
No.
But you're saying states is not defined, so
it is defined. I'm saying it is defined. States includes only District of Columbia, and plural and singular and plural are the same.
Right. You say it doesn't specify anything more than that.
That's right. It doesn't say that.
Restricted to that.
That's right. They put D.C. in there, which is not even a state. It's not even a state.
That's odd. Yeah.
They can do that and leave out the other states, which normally you think would be in there.
Right. Yeah. That's what I think is so odd. Which I think my concern is the court will look at that and say, well, it's states. It's self-evident.
It's not odd.
Also, we're adding.
It's not odd. What it is that the federal government never had the power to tax you in the 50 states. They never had that power at all. Okay, that's why they wrote the law the way they did, because they knew they could only do it to people of Washington, D.C. Okay?
Well, yeah. Then we're saying that for our parents and grandparents and millions of people in pain uselessly is what that leads to.
Yeah. Anyhow, I'm going to take more calls with questions. Any other last question, Jimmy? You good?
No, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome, my friend. 725 area code caller. You are next. Please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question.
Hello, Paymon. This is Alfredo. I heard you from doing some deep diving myself, and that's how I found out about you.
Where did you look for us?
I just did a lot of research online. I've always felt weird about this whole tax system. It always felt like a scam to me. So I haven't filed for close to 10 years, but in between that time, I've had money taken out of my bank account, money taken out of my paycheck, and I just never felt comfortable responding to them because I just never wanted to, fall into a trap. But my question is, I'm trying to figure out, because I did receive recently a lock-in letter, and I wanted to sign up for your program, but from talking to you guys stated that you wouldn't be able to help me once the IRS puts that lock-in letter in place with my employer. So my question is because I don't want to file, and I know that other research I've done showed and this is also from previous callers that asked you about, do you know people that, have also, filed and got some money back from years past. And I never wanted to make that attempt, but my question is, what do I do now? Because they're about to implement this lock-in letter with my employer. I've had the program that you stated to the information to give to your employer about, being tax exempt and everything. I was going to send that to my employer, but once I received that lock-in letter from the IRS, I just kind of backed off and said, and I know you stated in the past about the best thing to do is be self-employed to be able to really,
get another job.
A non-filer.
Why don't you get another job? Why do you have to work with this company?
That's true. But I understand that aspect of it. But what do you recommend? Do you recommend me still being a non-filer, or actually file and try to retrieve some past monies that they've taken from me?
That's your choice. When they put they're doing the robbing your wallet by force through your employer, whether you want to let that go, let it be, don't deal with it, just let it go, or try to, maybe get some of it back. That's something you gotta decide. I cannot tell you which way you should go. It's your individual choice. And another choice you got is join our Lock and Layer lawsuit, and then as a member, we'll do all the work for you because we're putting you and a bunch of other people in these lawsuits combined together. That way we can make it affordable for you to sue the IRS over this. That's the only best options available besides quitting your job, getting another job, or something like that. All right? Anything else out front before we go to the next caller?
No, thank you. I really appreciate all your information. I will definitely consider signing up for your, for the program that you have available. I was just worried about that lock-in letter that you guys wouldn't be able to help me once that's in place.
We cannot help you at all until we go through the court system and get the court declare the scam of the IRS being an illegal operation. They have no legal authority for this stealing they're doing by these lock-in letters from your paycheck. None. But they're pretending to have the authority, and the employers are afraid of the IRS. So I'm sorry, I don't have a good answer, but you may want to consider joining a lawsuit. And yet to do a lawsuit to be part of that is only a minimum $2,000 a year membership. So that's the best I can offer you, my friend. So thank you for that question. Okay, we got area code 954 caller 682, area code 215, area code 706 left, area code 508. Area code 501, area code 706. I think you did. Oh, he is there. 706, area code 916, area code 631, and then area code 206. All right. Area code 954 caller. Give me your first name, how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
Hi, Paymon. My name's Terrence. I signed up with y'all yesterday and sent in some paper, and I got a message back from Eric. He said they printed it out for us to review tonight.
Yes, I do have your paper here. Okay, very good. Yep, I have it right here, Terrence. Well, congratulations for joining like-minded people like yourself, Terrence, standing up for freedom, solution to freedom, like the Founding Fathers did. Thank you for your support and participation in restoring freedom to America for you, me, your children, my children, our family, and the whole America. So thank you for doing that, Terrence. Let's see. So what Terrence got is he was unfortunately deceived after many years of not filing to file a confession form, 1040 confession form for 13 through 18, okay, and then a payment plan of $225 a month, okay. So he wants to see what we could do about the situation. Now, first he asks, are business filings similar to personal? Yes. If your business is not a DC, corporation, LLC, or trust, it does not have to pay federal income taxes. Okay. Also, you ask about business tax. I'm not sure what they mean by that. Again, business income tax, I just answered your question on that. Okay. But local taxes, you have to pay. Sales tax, gasoline tax, property tax, all that stuff you got to pay. That's what pays for roads and police and court system. And so another thing Terry has is, unfortunately, it seems like, now how would the IRS know you have a virtual cryptocurrency? When is the last time? When did you file this tax returns, by the way, for years 13 through 18? When did you file it? How many years ago?
Say that again. I didn't quite understand it.
You filed for 13 to 18. When did you file those tax returns?
22.
So, 22. That's when it started putting that question on the 1040 form. The crypto trap. Do you have any cryptocurrency you sold? And you honestly, naively told them yes. And that's how they wrote to you, oh, you got cryptocurrency? You didn't tell us about it on your 1040 form. We want our cut, buddy. That's the problem. That's what they wrote to you a letter asking about your cryptocurrency gains.
Right.
Well, just don't do it again. I'm sorry. Past is past. Move forward from there. And apparently IRS says you owe them some money for these years of, 2020, 4,018, 17, about, 5,000, 14, about 2,700, 16,500. Look, I cannot get you out of those confession forms. If you want to stop paying them, you can stop. There's a very good chance they'll leave you alone, but I cannot guarantee it. So it's up to you.
Right.
You might say, pay them on. I just feel better at night if I just pay them off and don't have to think about it. All right? That's one school of thought. Some other people say, pay them on. I'm not going to give those bleeping people any more of my heart and money. If they want to get it, come and get it. I'll put my money in some gold or silver or cryptocurrency, something, do better, save it. If they ever come after me, get my money, hey, I already invested that money, made more on it. And I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Or anything between those two schools of thought. You at the end make that choice, my friend. I cannot give you any other solutions with that. Anything else, Terry?
Well, if I do get letters concerning that type of stuff, I can send them in, right?
What good can I do for you? You can send them to me, but it's your past pre-existing problem. We can't get you out of it. I mean, what you owe them on paper is not even $10,000, right? It's like, why would it? Look, about $10,000. They're leaving rich people alone. I got students years ago, before Corona hoax, that Irish claimed they owe them $50,000, $70,000, $100,000, $250,000. And Irish is so understaffed, overworked, and incompetent. They gave the collection job to some private collection agency which has no power to go to your bank account or your job and seize your paycheck or bank account money. That's how bad they are. So,
what do you think about with the new technology? Wouldn't it make it easier for them though, using?
No. Since 1980s, I covered this in my Step 3 videos that they be trying to update the computers, IRS, and they just repeatedly failed to do that. So no, don't worry. That they cannot do that right now. It's just so bad. They just can't do it. It's just beyond the ability to merge that antiquated technology of 1960s COBOL assembly language in today. If you go to Step 3, and the third reason about the IRS's computers, I have it there. And there's actually a beautiful article written by this Americans for Tax Freedom called 40 Years of Failure, IRS Unable to Fix Computer System, that came out in March 2022. Boy, do they nail it. And what they do in this article, they quote New York Times, Time Magazine, Washington Post, all these mainstream corrupt communists who are fans of the IRS, saying IRS just can't get its act together and update its computer system. You got to go read all that stuff. Whoa, what a failure. If they're going to update the systems back then to something newer, there's no way they can update that to the new technology with AI. It's just all propaganda. They just cannot do it. They're going to fall apart from inside, just like the communist Soviet Union. That powerful dictatorship over time decayed and fell through, collapsed from within. That is going to happen with the IRS. I'm here to expedite that process and have you Americans be free once they get brother. Okay?
And that's I mean, if they're acting and pretending to be government and defrauding the American people, I mean, that's obvious fraud. And then they're, using other actors such as the courts and other systems.
Terrence, hold on, Terrence, hold on. Terrence, hold on. There's a lot of people waiting for getting the calls, questions answered. Let's make it. If you have any other questions, I cannot have comments on it because a lot of people are waiting to get the questions.
I mean, if I committed fraud, Pavon, they throw me in jail. So if they're committing fraud and saying that I'm an employee of the District of Columbia and I need to pay their income tax, I don't understand why we can't get the money back for.
Because they don't like to follow the law.
Not saying who they really are.
They don't, because they don't like to follow the law. They're not going to agree with us off the bat. Oh my gosh, you caught me. The thief going to say, "Oh, you caught me red-handed. Here, let me give you all your money back." You expect them to admit that? You expect FBI and DOJ to admit, "Oh, Trump, we targeted you, and January 6th was the inside job, set you guys up to put you in prison." You want the crooks to admit their crimes? Come on, you're dealing with criminals, not honest people, my friend. Okay?
Right.
All right.
Okay, so from looking at that letter that you see that we got printed out there, I feel since they sent the letter, they're just going to continue.
Well, you may feel that way, but remember, this has nothing with your feelings. Obviously, you're a feeler. I'm a thinker.
All right.
Yeah, I'm telling you this. I tell all my feelers in my office too. They said people feel like this and feel like that. And I tell them, look, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about their feelings. I'm not a psychologist. You got to be yourself. You got to think and use your brain to overcome those feelings of fear that has been programmed you for decades. I can't do that. All I can do is give you the facts, the law, the truth. It's up to you to repeatedly study it so well that you really understand it. And then the fear will go away. All right, Terrence, but remember, you get unlimited consultation as a Restore Freedom Plan member. You don't have to call here. We'll help you to all your questions. Call us again, and we'll take care of all your questions you got, my friend, okay? All these things, no problem. So let me get to other people who don't have a membership like you. They don't get to call me, call our office for help, okay, like you can. So let me get to them because they're waiting to get the questions, the answers for them. Thank you for calling, brother.
Perfect.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Yep. Thanks for your service. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, brother. Thank you for your support. Let's go to 682 area code caller. Give me your first name, my friend, how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
Hi, good evening. My name is Kenneth, and I heard about you from gab.com. And then, of course...
Oh, sorry, I can barely hear you. Speak up, please. What's your first name again?
My name is Kenneth.
Uh-huh. And you heard about us?
And I heard on gab.com.
Very good. Gab. We're not on Gab. Are we on Gab, guys? We got to get on Gab anyhow. How did on Gab someone put it? How did that happen?
How did what?
Someone posted about us on Gab?
Yeah, but I think you used to have a site on there too. But there was a lady in Nevada that was posting about you guys. I can't remember her name right off the bat.
Okay. We gotta get on the guys. Put some stuff up there at least. Okay.
It's the only freedom site at the moment. Like you can tell the truth on.
I know it's a great platform. I agree. We gotta support Gab and put most posts. Could you guys make a note? I'm gonna get a post on Gab. Okay. Write it down, please, guys. All right, Kenneth. How can I help you, my friend?
Yeah, I run a nonprofit, and I'm the founder. And I collect W-9s from my people. But it sounds like you may have answered this earlier. But if they do not sign the W-9, then I can still file the 1099 because the IRS requires me to file the 1099. In order to keep my nonprofit status.
Stop. Kenneth, I'll stop you right there. Kenneth, stop.
Okay.
I'll help you right there, my friend. You don't need that privilege, recognition. sword on your shoulder, you're a nonprofit. Okay, you don't need that. That's for Washington, D.C. corporations or limited liability companies, not you. You don't need that at all. That's just a designation you chose to give the IRS for your company. Just stop. Stop filing anything with the IRS unless you have a D.C. corporation, which I don't think you do. And stop getting W-9s from your people. Stop 1099ing them. Stop filing tax returns. You don't need those returns for the nonprofit either. You can probably let your accountant go or have him do only maybe 3 hours of bookkeeping a week for you, perhaps. That's all you need. You're free. Okay?
Right. Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Go to our website, check it out, watch the videos.
Yeah.
Any questions, call us. Listen, I got people, activists will gladly take your call, 9 to 6 Eastern time zone, right now 9 to 7 because of tax season. And we'll do our best to guide you through to our website, answer your questions. And you got to verify everything I said for yourself. You got to, in your heart.
I'm already a member.
What's that?
I'm already a member.
Oh.
I'm with you.
Then let's get you, if you want, we can get you a corporate freedom plan if you want. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
So that way we can protect your entity. If you want to need it, if not, you can just get rid of it. Okay?
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, I always always reach out to you guys on X as well and try to spread the word about everything that you tweet or whatever they call it. And so I'm preaching as much as I can for people to get on board with you as well. Bless you.
You're welcome, my friend. Thank you very much. Let's go to the call from area code 215. You're there, my friend, 215 area code caller. Give me your first name, how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Narina Piman. I'm from Pennsylvania, and
from where?
I found you probably on YouTube, Pennsylvania.
Okay. YouTube, got it. Okay. All right. And how may I help you?
YouTube. I was going to ask one. Travis already answered that one. So I haven't filed my taxes since 2009, and majority of the years I was out sick, so I wasn't working anyway. So when I got work, it was usually under the table. But since 2023, I've been on the table, and it wasn't much. And usually I would get back my money anyway, well, half of it at least. My question is, I haven't filed since 2023, since I started working again on top, where there's, and it was only like maybe 12,000. Then the next year was 20, and this year is 41. So I'm wondering, since I do usually get some of the money back, should I just go and file, or should I just say, screw the tax, screw the money I lost, change my W-4s, and just go on from there?
It's up to you. Honestly, I cannot tell you which way to go. For me, I'll take the first option. Don't file anything. Just go from here. That's what I would do.
Okay. And another question, can I change the W-4 to exempt? And would I have to prove it every year? Would I have to change? Would I have to do anything with that every year?
Unfortunately, until you can convince your employer he should not steal anything from your paycheck, no FICA, Social Security taxes, no Medicare, no federal unemployment, no federal income tax, until that time, you have to go through this W-4 exempt thing every year with him.
Okay. How do I prove that, though?
Give him our petitions. Say, look, I wrote my congressman. Here's a law. Follow the law. As written in the law books. Follow the law, not what your ignorant accountant, CPA, tells you to do, who pretends to know the law when he doesn't know nothing about the law. He just knows how to keep you in the system as a slave, just like the doctors that all they know give you the vaccine jabs and give you more drugs to make you more sick.
No.
Right?
All right. Do I have to do a state tax, though, file? Do I have to file with the state? Because I haven't done that either.
Pennsylvania, you told me that, is one of the 5 states that has a state income tax independent of the federal system. So you do have to pay Pennsylvania state income tax.
All right. So can I do, go back 3 years? What kind of return would I have to do for that?
State. Pennsylvania tax form. Get the form and fill it out. Whatever that says. I don't know about the form that much. You're going to just go follow the simple instructions on their form.
Should I go back to 2023 or just start it from this year?
You can do 23 if you want to. It's up to you.
Okay.
You know, I probably should go 23. Do 23 if you made that much in 23. Do 23 and 24. But do it better late than never. But do it right.
Okay. And one more question, if it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking into this thing called W.A. Ben. Am I saying that right?
W.A. Ben is not those garbage, baseless legal theories.
Okay. Because I was like trying to it didn't sound right to me. Because I felt like I would be lying if I did that.
Yeah, that's not for you. In fact, there's no forms for you. All those forms are for people or entities that are within Washington, D.C., or have some kind of a connection or relationship to something within D.C. For example, if you're from Egypt or Florida or Texas, but you sell property in D.C., then there's a form for that, for example, because you have something in D.C. But the rest of us have nothing to do with D.C., so you don't have to worry about it at all. Okay?
Because D.C. is considered a foreign nation, correct?
It is. Every country in the United States is foreign with respect to each other. Florida, Texas, California, all of them are countries, states, with their own legislature that makes laws, their own governor that runs the executive branch of the government, and their own Supreme Court. We are not one country. We're 50 countries, plus one in Washington, D.C. All right, Lorena, we good?
Thank you, yes.
You're welcome. Okay, let's see. We got area code 706, then area code 508, then 501, and then let's see. We got area code 916, 631, 206.
That's it.
That's it? Okay, very good. All right, good. Okay, we're getting down. We're helping people a lot. All right, good. 706 caller, you're live, my friend. Give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you able to hear me, Payman?
Yes.
Hi, how are you? My name is Dominique. I found you through looking online because I'm all about freedom, and I know that the law is a good way to kind of find out the bad things going on and kind of the way out, and then I came up with Freedom Law School. Okay, so here are my questions, and thank you for your time. So I need a reframe of mindset. Okay, so there's the FHA loan and USDA loan that helps people get first-time homes, but one would have had to at least have 2 years of income tax filed. So the only thing I could surmise is just don't go that route. Do creative financing when one wants to purchase a home or anything like that. Any thoughts on FHA, USDA?
Like you said, just don't go that route.
In reference to having filed taxes and not filing. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, then the next question is, I know that Trump has thought about 150,000 or more, then people would be encouraged, I'll use that word, to pay income taxes, otherwise 150,000 or less, not to worry about that. I guess everything that we've heard and you discussed would be applicable for those people if a law such as that would go into place where only 150,000 or more in income would be taxed.
That, what you heard about $150,000 and below not paying income tax, is a wish list of Donald Trump. It's well intent of him. He cannot do that. Okay, he needs to just enforce the law as it is, but he needs Freedom Law School to be his advisor to tell him that he can just simply tell American people you've been lied to, and have your employers stop stealing from your paycheck, and employers stop stealing from your employees and giving it to the IRS. And you those of you who are independent contractors, have your own business, stop sending your money to the DC regime. That's how we're going to drain this swamp. Okay? Anything else, Dominique?
Thank you. And so, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Thank you. I just want to reconfirm, as long as it's an LLC or a corporation that is not within DC, then we are fine. If we were incorporated or have an LLC from within DC, then we would be subject to taxes. Is that correct?
That's right. You got it.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Dominique. Have a good night, Dominique. All right, let's see. We're going to go to the 508 area code caller. Please give me your first name, how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
Hello, this is Winter in Massachusetts. Payman, we spoke a couple of weeks ago regarding state taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a Freedom Law School member, and I've been in touch with the people in your office. You're all wonderful. Thank you for what you do. And up until these recent weeks, I thought that my membership included state protection, and now I realize that it does not. So I am contemplating filing state taxes, right? And I have a tax liability, so I need to pay today. And so my question to you, Payman, is what are these? So I've started the process, and then all these questions have come up. What are the implications for filing in state but not federal? Are the state and federal talking to each other? So when you go onto Massachusetts' website, there's a statement somewhere that says that they've got this sophisticated system that connects them with the IRS to share information and stuff, and it's a little unnerving to file in the state system knowing that I'm not going to file in the federal system, because you've trained me well and I understand the federal,
right,
the federal law and the concept, and I understand that I do not need to file federal income taxes, so I will not. But state is another matter.
Right. Massachusetts is one of the more aggressive states, because there are a bunch of communists, unfortunately, surrounding you that have taken over that state, sadly. And so you just sign that state form, you say under duress. I'm not required to fill this out, but you're a lawless bunch of lawless people, thieves. I shouldn't have to fill it out, but I do. You just put that on your signature page, on a separate page. You can do that. That will cover you as far as them ever referring you to the federal government, which they don't, by the way. They technically could talk to each other, but they don't. All that is propaganda. Look, these bureaucracies are so corrupt and inefficient and lazy and disorganized. They can't even get together within themselves to do things right. They're not going to be able to get together with another government's bureaucracy, like the federal government or the states, to try to coordinate with each other. That just doesn't happen in reality. Theory, yes, but in reality, no. So you'll be fine there.
Okay, because I did in recent months, I did receive a notice from both Massachusetts and the IRS for 22 where there was a balance due, and I'm not sure why that was, but so I paid it.
Well, I'm sorry you did that, because IRS doesn't come after you that quickly for 22. I don't know what happened there, but it's already done deal. They are sending people now, non-filers, some of those scare letters. Oh, where's your tax return?
Yeah.
That was just a scare letter.
Filed.
Huh?
No, I had filed. This
oh, you had filed. Okay, yeah, if you filed, yeah.
Yeah, 2024, this tax year will be the first year that I do not file federal.
Okay.
And then I was not going to file Massachusetts as well, but then your comments and your team's comments about the lawlessness of Massachusetts led me to rethink that.
Right. I understand, yeah.
So when I was talking, so when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, Payman, you said that you don't have a lot of members in Massachusetts, and one of your team members referred to, and I want your knowledge base on this, and one of your team members referred to a knowledge base that Freedom Law School has, where Massachusetts is known to not adhere to the law and the, what do you call it? They don't allow the definitions arguments. And so, to your knowledge, do you know of cases in Massachusetts, even if not specifically a member case, but do you know of instances in Massachusetts where they have thrown out such arguments or tax cases?
No, I hardly have members. Here's the thing. The more communist, the socialist the states, the less per capita per thousand have members. Like Vermont, you know, and Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, you know, you don't get that many people from those communist states, you know. But I get a lot more from Florida. I get a lot from Texas, Tennessee, you know. So, so that's it. You asked something else. I'm sorry, I got distracted. So, what was your other question? Repeat that, please.
But those states don't have income taxes.
What states don't have state income taxes?
So Florida, Tennessee, Texas, I believe, don't have state income taxes.
New Hampshire, South Dakota, Wyoming, Nevada, Washington, and Alaska don't have state income tax on individuals. Yeah, so you may want to consider becoming a New Hampshire person instead. You know, you're right next door. That might be easy for you to do. Do you work for yourself, Winter?
So, I'm sorry, I do work for myself. So, you know, I have an elderly parent that, and other family members that do not want to know this stuff, right? Like they're deeply conditioned.
Right.
And so I intend to leave. I have intentions to leave at some point, but not in the foreseeable future.
Right.
And so I'm dealing with this. So I know that you can't tell me what to do. What would you do, my dear, if you were in my shoes?
As far as
file Massachusetts versus not filing Massachusetts.
Well, you have your own business. You know, I tell you what, this is why you get unlimited consultation as a Restore Freedom Plan member, because I can discuss your situation in more detail privately, not in this public forum. So let's do that. Okay? Give me a couple weeks to get past through this tax season. We're very busy until early May. Call early May and let's make some time. We can really sit down and spend my time with you, properly evaluate things. But I can tell you this, since you're not an employee, you have a lot more choices. Okay? Employees are locked in. The employer just does whatever the government tells them to do, the IRS or state. Whereas as a self-employed person, you have a lot more flexibility. You can set up your business or move it to a different state if you wanted to. So let's talk about that early May when I can give you more personal attention and detail for you, Winter, okay?
Yeah. So if I were going to file, I need to pay, and I would need to pay today in order to be on time.
And for business, you ask for an extension, right?
I'm sorry?
You could ask for an extension.
Yeah, so you need to pay with an extension in Massachusetts.
Same thing with the IRS.
80%.
You could you could ask for an extension, and then file later. They expect you to pay, but you can file for extension. That's one way. But you can pay with, if you want to pay them for 23, 24, and let's start it clean for 25. That would be probably easier, simpler. Honestly.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, because all I have is 1099 income.
Yeah, I know. So let's talk about that. And sometimes for people like you who have your own business, if you choose to, we can give you a membership for state, also for 25% of your federal membership. You can protect it for state also on a case-by-case basis as well.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Paymon.
You're most
God
welcome.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your support. All right.
Okay.
Take care. All right. We got a few more callers to get to. Area code 501-916-631 and 206 callers. Do you have any more besides that? I think you have a 501 caller that joined us also from California. Okay. All right. Area code 501 caller, you alive, my friend? Give me your first name, how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
My name is Rhonda Covington. I heard about you first on your YouTube, and then recently Dr. Lee Merritt, and that's when I felt real confident
because I looked into George Strait and not George Strait, George David Strait and Annabon, and they all disagreed and it was all confusing. But my question is, I've been a homemaker. My husband been the sole provider. I talked him into doing an extension. He's leery. So what was taxable last year was $108,000. They withheld $9,500. My question is, since I am a homemaker, do I still write my congressman and my husband write our representatives contesting the tax?
You should sign the petition with your husband to your 3 congressmen, because you do it one time and you both cover it for the rest of your life. One time is enough. That's why you want to both be on the petitions you send your congressman.
And that way, if he died, I would still be covered drawing his pension, correct?
Well, that also, that depends on the rules of the pension company that your husband was part of. Usually they do, but not necessarily always. You got to look into that.
Okay, it's FAA, a federal pension retirement.
I'm not an expert on that topic. Probably, you go to just ask FAA, ask his pension company. They'll tell you.
Okay, would it keep me from drawing it?
Again, I don't know. I'm not a pension retirement expert about those things, about pensions.
Okay. All right. Now, the money that they've already gotten from us this year, is there any way to get that back?
File the 1040 form, and you might get some of that back. Otherwise, no. It's money went down the rat hole of corruption, criminality, and waste of Washington, D.C.
Okay. So I don't need to join till I find out if I would lose my pension if we didn't pay the IRS, correct?
You can stop the pension company from stealing your money, giving it to the IRS, and then you are forced to file to get some of that money back, perhaps. Just stop the stealing, withholding from the pension to begin with, and then stop filing 1044.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. On our website, you have the forms for employees, W-4, but the pension one is very similar to that, a little bit different. You may want to become a member of the Restore Freedom Plan, like other people you heard, like Winter that just called. She's a Restore Freedom Plan member. As such, we give you unlimited consultation and help with these kind of issues as part of your 100% protection from any and all IRS attacks. You will not go to prison for taxes, and we'll do all the legal work. We pay the attorneys as necessary, okay? And even if we were to not win and lose and they take your money, we'll reimburse you whatever the IRS takes from you, $10,000 or $10 million. So if you want to have that safety, that's an option available to you.
Well, that's what we would do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling, Rhonda. 916 area code caller. You are live, my friend. Give us your first name, how you heard about us, and then your question, please. Are you there? Area code 916 caller. Okay, he's not there. We're going to go to 631 area code, followed by 206 area code, then 510 area code callers. So, area code 631 area code caller, give me your first name, how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
Yes, hello. My name is Scott, and I'm here with my wife, Kim. And we saw you with Dr. Lee Merritt, and we were scrolling through before it's news, and we clicked on. We're very, very glad we did, because we think your information is really, really awesome. So my question is, we received a letter from the IRS. We haven't filed in 4 years, first of all. And then we got a letter from the IRS stating that there's a final balance due reminder, notice of intent to seize, levy, or property or rights to property. It's an amount due of $316.19, which is like from 2020. Is that something we should just ignore?
Look, it's as much of a traffic ticket. You know, you want to pay it? Pay it. If you don't want to pay it, don't pay it. I don't think IRS will be so aggressive or able to come up to such small amounts to collect, as you heard me to talk about one of our first callers tonight. But if you sleep better, you want to pay it, go ahead. I wouldn't. You know, I mean, you know, it's just a small amount, but, you know, you sleep better, go ahead and do it if you want to. It's totally up to you which way you want to go. What you should be focused on is not that. Okay, because morally, I don't like to support these crooks and criminals and thieves that the deep state, they're using our money against us to destroy America, destroy our children, okay, American people. They don't work for us anymore, okay? They work for the big banks and corporations who get their politicians and they crooked judges in place, okay? But focus on years 2021, 2, 3, 4 forward, okay? You may want to become a Restore Freedom Plan member and get yourself protection for all those years if you want. Any other questions?
Gotcha. Appreciate that. Okay. I don't think there's any other questions, right? So of course they're still taking money out of my pay here as far as income tax. I'm in Delaware here. What is a route to stop them from doing that?
You can easily stop them from stealing your paycheck by going to our website, freedomlawschool.org. On the top, near the top center right area, is on the right menu. Okay, you go down the third item, free yourself from tax withholding. Okay, you go there, and there's instructions, sample form, video, and written instructions on how to stop your employer from stealing income taxes from your paycheck.
Perfect. Thank you very much. That's really awesome. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. My pleasure, Scott and Kim. Thank you for calling.
All right. You're welcome. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you. We have a number on the screen. If you want to call, have questions, you can go after these two next callers. Call 424-552-1299. Okay, the number to call if you have a question is 442-552-1299. And then you press 1 on your telephone keypad. Well, we're going to go right now to the next callers from area code 206, followed by the call from area code 510. 206 caller, please give us your first name, how you heard about us, and then your question, please.
My name's Gary, and I heard about you on Stu Peters.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
And first I want to start off by saying something you probably never heard on this podcast before. I'm sure you've heard it before, but not on the podcast here. And that is, Allah Shema Hubei.
All right, Mama Chuba Merci. You speak some Persian, I see where I come from. Very nice, Gary. Good. Yes, some Persian friends I can see. Okay, great.
Yeah, I do, because I used to live in Iran.
Oh, really? Wow. When was that?
Well, that was a long time ago, my friend. Probably way before you were born.
I don't know about that. I'm born in 62, you know? You sound pretty young to me. You don't sound that old.
Actually, I think we're the same age, because I saw somebody asking in the chat earlier if Paymon looks 62, which is what I am, so...
Okay, there you go. We're the same age. Cool.
Yep.
All right, Gary. How may I help you, my friend?
Okay. Well, so I got hurt on the job a couple years ago, almost 3 years ago, and I've been on L&I for the last 3 years. So that's not taxable. So I didn't file a tax return last year, and but this year I bought some crypto about. And I don't know if anybody asked you about crypto stuff here tonight because I missed a bunch of this feed here. But anyway, so I bought some crypto
like 3 years ago, a little longer than that, and I just was holding on to it until like the end of last year, about November sometime.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up selling some of it to like trading it for a different crypto, USDT, and then I ended up buying other cryptos. I never took any money out of that. It's all been in the same Coinbase account the whole time. Anyway, so I got a email from Coinbase saying that you need to hurry up and file your taxes, and supposedly, I had a little realized gain according to them. But I bought other cryptos and everything's gone to hell on the cryptos, and I'm like way down now compared to being just a little bit up. Anyway, so I guess my question is, when it comes to crypto, it's not income tax exactly on that, obviously. What's the deal with crypto as far as having to file?
You don't,
according to Paymon.
You don't. It's not according to me. It's according to the U.S. government's official legal websites, the law. Okay? It doesn't matter the kind of income you have. Remember, Gary, it's where is the money or you are from. If you're from the District of Columbia, you have to pay income on your wages, commissions, business income, stocks, bonds, crypto investments, real estate, everything. But if you're not from the District of Columbia, you pay income tax on none of it. So.
Okay, well, I'm from the other Washington.
Okay, then you're fine.
So
you don't owe income tax on your crypto either.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's almost too late to bother with it right now anyway, so I guess that's good.
That's good. And you bought it 3 years ago? 3 years ago compared to now, you made a lot of money. It went down since November, but you still made a lot of money because you've been in the market for so long. So be positive, my friend. You did good, okay? It's going to go up again. Don't worry about it.
It wasn't that much.
Okay, well.
Okay, I'm just gonna let it ride then.
Yep, that's what I would do. As far as I'm a big fan of crypto. I think it's great. Just long term. I'm a big fan of crypto. Crypto is honest money of the people. They cannot control it. And as these fiat currencies, the government, bankers, crooked money goes down in value because of fraud, people will abandon it more and more and more and go to cryptocurrency. And more people become aware of crypto, and more people get in the crypto world, that crypto will go up, while these worthless monies of banks will go down further and further. So thank you for calling, Gary. Good question. All right. We have 510. Any other questions before we end it, Gary? Anything else?
Nothing to do with nothing, but just when did you leave Iran? Just out of curiosity.
77. Just before the very first demonstration started that eventually led to the Shah, the King of Iran, being toppled and the Ayatollahs come to power.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so we were there a little longer. I think we left 78. Right at the very end. I mean, we were there too. There was a bunch of Americans living in Tehran, and we were some of the last to leave. Actually, we went on vacation because my dad worked for Boeing, and they gave him what they called R&R every 6 months, and he had one coming up. So we took off to Kenya for a couple of weeks. My parents were checking the news and stuff to see if it's safe to go back, because as you just said with the demonstrations, it was getting pretty hairy, and we were under martial law, all that good stuff. And anyway, we went back to Tehran, and all my friends, I was going to Tehran American High School, all my friends, all the Americans had left. So I didn't get to say goodbye to any of my friends or anything. But anyways, I'll quit taking your time, and you have a great day. And I'm going to say, the last thing I'm going to say here is Khodafis.
Khodafis, which means goodbye, Gary. Thank you. Yes, I had some American friends also in Iran where I live. My neighbor was an American family. Had a young man, about a year younger than me. So yes, I remember the Tehran, the American high school that was in a school that was in Tehran. Yes, I do remember those old days, my friend. Time flies fast. So thank you for calling, Gary.
I love your country, by the way.
Thank you.
If we go bomb it, we better not be.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think Trump is just talking. He just want to make his own deal. rather than, in my opinion. He doesn't want to bomb you on. He just, he talks tough, but he's actually man of peace.
Right.
I think that's really the case. He just didn't want Biden to make the deal or Obama. He wanted the deal himself, which is fine, because he make a better deal and he'll stick to it. So, all right. And let's go to 5-1 area code caller, everybody, and then followed by 919 area code caller. 510 caller, you're live, my friend. Give me your first name, how you heard about us, and then your question, please. Oh, it's not working? Okay, I'll do here. Okay, no problem. All right, 510 area code caller, one more time. Announce yourself.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Kimon. It's Andrew from California. I called last week as well, probably the week before. Whenever I have questions, I just call you and I call in. I heard about you through Wyndham TV. I think it was Brandon Howes was the first guy, and then since then, flyover conservatives and stuff like that. But I do have a question. So I'm not planning to file the federal taxes. I'm going to do state. But do I need to do an extension on the federal taxes in order to extend the state taxes? Do you know about that?
I'm not sure about that. Probably not. I don't think so. But look, as long as you file later, they're fine. But go to FTB's website, ftb.gov. There should be on the front page something. Search on there, extension to file. Look for that form, will come up.
Okay, and then I was listening to Steve Bannon this morning, and he the way he talks, he really scared people about this all paying taxes. Thinking maybe you should get on Steve Bannon and set him straight.
Please get me on Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon, I would love to have him interview me. Can you do that? I've tried. Can you do it?
I don't know if I can do it, but I the way he talks, it scares people.
I agree, but get to him. Talk to him. I want to be on the show. I'm on Tucker Carlson if you interview me too, but these guys are afraid, unfortunately. They're afraid. They got everybody afraid of the IRS. This land of the free, home of the brave. They got people afraid of their own public servants. What a sad state of affairs America is in, and people are afraid to even interview someone that tells the truth about income tax. Even though for over 30 years, I've not filed income taxes. That's just the way it goes. It's going to take some more time, apparently, to wake up the American people, the Gulliver. So we'll do our best to keep going, my friends. So, any other questions you got, Andrew?
No, so I'll just go ahead and pay the state taxes. It's late, but I'll pay it in a couple days, I guess, by this weekend. Should be okay. All right.
Good. Very good.
All I have. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Thanks for calling. Okay, we got area code 919 caller, followed by area code 917. 919 area code caller, give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, then your question, please.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
And this is, I've been waiting to talk to you for like 5 years. And I've got the same cookbook you do. It's got all these little highlighted pieces of paper. I put it in mine now. And I think you're doing a job educating America.
What's your name?
Dave.
Dave. Speak up. Get close to the microphone. We can barely hear you, Dave. All right. And how did you hear about Freedom Law School, Dave?
How did I hear about you? I heard about you 30 years ago. You were getting ready to get into, you were talking about the last guy that got with it. Oh, my God. It was so horrible.
Okay.
And then you started in 1996, I think. And I exited in 2000, and I haven't paid since. They've sent me so many letters. I got boxes of them. And they just quit writing me letters, and I'm like, okay. So I was up to about $500,000. I only make minimum wage. I mean, like nothing special. They had so many extra taxes, and you didn't pay, and this, that, and the other. And finally, I just said, well, fine, take me to court. And all my friends are like, you haven't been to jail yet? I said, no. He quit paying taxes. Why? I said, because there's no law that tells me I should. They said, how do you know that? I said, because I read the Internal Revenue Code, and I have a copy of it right here. It's 2001, highlighted with the early shift. That's the guy I was trying to talk about. I've got his original one he gave me or sold to me.
Yes.
And I can't find anything in there. The OMB says every 3 years, each form that's been changed has a new OMB number.
Hold on, Dave, hold on. Listen, I personally appreciate talk about my old friend Irvin Schiff and all that old talk, but listen, the audience is not interested in that. If you have a question you want to ask of me, my friend, I can help you with, so maybe they can learn from your question as well, my friend.
Yes. Why should people pay income taxes when they're not legally allowed to?
I agree with you. They don't have to. Anything else before I go to our next caller from area code 917?
Yeah, go ahead. 917 is fine with me. I appreciate all the work you've done.
You're welcome. Listen, Dave. Listen, let me tell you something about Dave. Talk to people about us. Call us. Get our brochures. Restore Freedom brochure. We mail it to you at no charge. Okay, telling people that no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income and payroll taxes. And inside of it, you can put your name and phone number on the space at the bottom, okay? Or we give you a private 9-digit number. And guess what? When they contact us to join, we'll be happy to pay you cash, okay, in the mail or crypto, and get you up from your situation, my friend. There's no reason why you should be not doing better financially. So we'd love to help you, brother. I appreciate you being a freedom lover for such a long time, okay? Let's go 917 area code caller, and then the board is open for people with questions. You have questions, call 424-552-1299, 424-552-1299, and then you press 1 on your telephone keypad, and I will take your question next after the 917 area code caller who is live. Give me your first name, my friend. How you heard about us?
You hear me?
Yeah, and then the question. Yes.
Yeah, Dave. This is Dave, 917. Well, I watch you on YouTube a lot, and I quit filing 1040 forms back in 2018. I just quit filing taxes.
Good.
And because I know there's no law.
Mm-hmm.
So, but here's the thing. So I was born in D.C., Washington, D.C., at Providence Hospital, because my father was working on the White House back then. He was a construction worker. And then, after the job was over, we moved back to Florida. And that's where I've been ever since. So I don't live in Washington, D.C., so does that consider because I was born there, I have to pay taxes there?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Where do you live now?
Okay. Florida.
Great. You're a Floridian. That's your country now. D.C. is passed.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to hear that from you. Because I was like, hell, it's like, I've never gotten a letter from them. I went to Homeland Security and all that and changed my status to a American national and just quit filing altogether.
Okay. Well, you don't have to change your status to nothing. There's no need to do that. It's irrelevant. You're fine. You are free the way you are without any revocation of election or national citizenship. You are a U.S. national and citizen of state and U.S. citizen all at the same time right now, just as the same you were decades ago. All right, my friend, you are good there. Any other questions?
All right, brother. No, hey, I appreciate it. And, I love what you're doing.
Thank you, bro, for calling, Dave. You have one more caller right now from area code 916. Please give me your first name, how you heard about Freedom Law School, and then your question, please. Are you there? Area code 916, caller. One more try. Area code 916 area code caller. Are you there? He's not there, looks like. Okay. The board is open if you have a question. Are you there? Here we go.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. What's your name?
This is Barbara calling from Northern California. I heard about you on Mike Adams.
Very good.
And I guess, yeah, he's a great guy. I guess you could call me a chicken. And I went ahead and I filed my federal tax today, an extension. And I sent him a check for most of it, not all of it, most of it. And I also filed my California 540. So going forward, what's the best thing for me to do? Excuse me. Join your organization for next year?
You can do that if you want to.
I have filed every year for 40 years or so. And if all of a sudden I don't file, is that a red flag?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay. One more question.
Mm-hmm.
Can they withhold Social Security if they think I owe?
Thinking doesn't do anything. If they come after you, if they go through a legal process, and after you challenge them, if you challenge them, and at the end of all that multiple years of challenging, you eventually lose, then they may be able to take 15% of the Social Security money that the federal government would pay you. That's the worst of it.
Okay. All right. I guess that's all.
Yeah, and I would suggest, join our Restore Freedom plan. We appreciate your support to restore freedom in America for all of us, and we protect you 100% from the IRS attacks of all kinds.
If I didn't pay all of it. The TurboTax lady said give them 80 to 90% with my extension. Will you help me with that if they say I owe more, which I might?
Well, we don't help you. I generally don't like to help people to file at all.
Yeah.
Files come to me and I help them still, but I don't recommend that. Okay. You may want to call and do a private consultation at my office with one of my specialists I've trained to analyze your situation a little bit more closely, to give you a more private, custom-made answer that works for your situation. That's what I would recommend. Because obviously you got these things to evaluate you got going on, Barbara.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't want to file, but I'm one of those people who fear the IRS. And if I'd known better and listened to you more, I should have no fear of them.
Well, let me ask you. You said you filed with the FTB. With the IRS, you only filed for an extension, or did you actually file with the IRS?
No, I paid FTB.
And about the IRS, do you file a 1040 with the IRS, or do you just file for an extension?
Extension.
That's fine. You didn't file with the IRS then. Extension means nothing.
Yeah, but they still want money.
No. Of course, everybody wants money. The whole world wants money. That doesn't mean anything.
So filing an extension is not officially filing.
No, it's not binding at all. You don't even sign the extension form. Your neighbor, your friend can do extension for you without signing nothing at all.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm. But I officially filed with California.
Yes,
just because,
but not with the IRS. That is correct.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right, Barbara.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're doing okay. Call my office. We'll be able to help you. 813-444-4800. Can answer more of your questions there. And, some of my senior people can do also private detailed consultation if you want to evaluate your IRS situation so you don't have to file for it. But you got to educate yourself. Listen to our videos as you drive around in the traffic of Sacramento, California, where I suppose you live, right? And educate yourself. You lose the fear with education, Barbara.
Okay. Thank you, Paymon.
You're welcome, Barbara. Okay, everybody, the board is open. Any last callers? You've been waiting and waiting to get your question answered. Your wait has paid off. Right now, the board is open. You can call and get your question answered right away. Call. The number is 424-552-1299, and then press 1 on your telephone keypad, and you'll be next. 424-552-1299, and then on your keypad you press 1. So you see a common theme with everybody that calls, which is what? You've heard some things, you know some things, but you gotta get more educated to have that knowledge, that deep confidence that only comes with knowledge, so you feel comfortable taking off the chains of slavery that we've been programmed by the corrupt mainstream media to be. You do not want to be a slave. You were not born to be a slave. You were born to be free. That's your birthright, to be free. But the only person that can free you is you. You must take the time as you drive around town, going to work, go shopping, or other errands, or back home, to listen to the 7 steps at Freedom Law School's website. Okay? And that's how you will lose your fear of the IRS with knowledge. Okay? And that's how your journey to freedom will progress. Okay? I had to do it myself without that Freedom Law School being there. Okay? So for me, it was a long road. For you, it's a very short road. All you gotta do, again, as you drive around, listen to the videos on our website, freedomlawschool.org, on the 7 steps. Then at your job, at lunch, or dinner at home, put up your smartphone or computer again. This time, watch and listen, and you'll have the confidence, like me, of being free, no longer filing income tax, and we can work together to restore freedom in America. Consider joining a Restore Freedom plan, and I will support our cause, and will support you and keep you 100% safe from any and all IRS attacks, give you unlimited consultation and support that you want and deserve. So with that, I give you all my love. I hope you choose freedom. I hope invite you to share this information on our website with your family members, friends, co-workers, and let them, give them a chance to be free, just like you have chosen freedom as well. Good night.